We're going to be looking at more features of formatting. Formatting makes it easier for us to read the actual spreadsheet, and it accentuates important points. Now, we already saw a lot of aspects in formatting, and I'll review some of these with you. We saw, for example, if we look on the screen, that we were able to change the numbers that we typed into a specific format, and we did that, if you recall, by right-clicking and going down to Format Cells. And there were a number of options. We could, in formatting, as you can see, beyond what we already did, we can change the size of the actual number if we wish. We can change it from bold to italic if we wish. And let's take a look as we mention these things so we can see what's going on together. That's one aspect. Let's change another number just to see how this looks. And we can go down to Format Cells again. We can change this to a larger value, and we can see what that will do. And as you can see, it is too big. We'll expand the cell, but that's a larger number. We can put in the dollar sign by choosing the currency aspect. We can put in commas, and we did these things already over here. We can justify the data or the month, January, February, March, to make it centered. We can align the cells, make it left or right if we wish, and we can merge the cells as we did over here. We basically centered it and merged the cells so it would spread across the screen. Now we have other aspects of formatting that we can take a look at. We mentioned bold, but besides bold, we can do others. And let's just take a look. If we go back to our format cells, we can use what's called strikethrough, which puts a line through the word. We can put in underline if we wish. Right now there's no underline, but we can put in an underline if we wish. The single and double underline, and we can try all these out. We can change the color. So if we want to emphasize something, possibly we want it to be in a different color, and say in a reddish of some sort. We can decrease the font as well. We can change the decimal places in another manner, and if you take a look on top of the screen, we can see another way of doing that. For example, the value 5451 can be modified by looking on top of the screen over here where we have the increased decimal. If we press it once, we see it gives us the 0.8, and we press it again, it's 0.75. So we can increase this to as many decimal places as we feel fit, but we should be consistent. And if we'd like to reduce it, we do exactly the same thing with the decreased decimal section, and then press that once or twice to be able to accomplish that. Notice again the dollar sign, the comma. We have percent here, which we're going to see soon, and we can utilize many of these. We can do some interesting things with the alignment. For example, if we go to January and we look on top of our screen, we see that we have that AB, which is called the orientation. If we click on this, we have a choice how we'd like to change it. So for example, let's take a look at a few of these. Angle counterclockwise. This may have a very nice effect. And we can do something. We should not do too many different things, but we can change it, as you can see, and we can create some very interesting effects. Okay, so you can experiment with that to see all the different possibilities that we can come up with. At times we would like to insert a page break, very similar to like we do in Word, and we can do that by taking the cursor where we'd like the break to appear, for example over here in cell A9, and we can just go up to where it does say the page layout. Then we can choose break and insert page break, and we'll see by the line that will appear that that is where the break will occur when we print it out. And if you'd like to see that in the print preview, we can go to the print and we can go to preview, and you will see once a printer is set up that it will appear in that location only from A1 down to D8 for the first page, and then it will continue for the next. And we may have to move things over a little bit in order to have everything fit in exactly, but that is the purpose of putting in a page break, to see how we can manipulate it to look at it in a better manner. One other interesting feature we have is inserting a border around an area. Very often it's used for highlighting. So for example, if I would take my cursor and surround my budget, and I go up to the top where we see a pull down where I have a choice of different types of borders. So for example, if I put in an outside border and take a look what has happened, you see it is now surrounded. It looks a little bit better. If I wish, I can make it thicker, or I can do other items which you can look at down here as far as drawing borders, etc., etc. Let's put in a thicker border though for a moment. I can go back one more time and just take a look where we have the choices, more borders, and we have colors that we can put in as well. As an example, let's put in a different color just to emphasize this, and let's put in a red color. And as you can see, our pen will then dictate the red color, and we have the opportunity to put it in where we wish just by moving the red pen around. Very flexible. Use your imagination to do many choices. Final point on different aspects of being able to format the numbers, etc. We have a shortcut menu, as you probably remember. We can either highlight our area and right click and go down to formatting cells. Now we looked at some of these, and I won't go through all the others, but we can go to border from this point rather than going to the menu where we did a moment ago. We can change the font from here. As you can see, we can change the alignment, and here's where we can also change the direction of the text. We can do it here very nicely as well. We have other aspects which we're going to be looking at, namely protecting our data. We'll be doing this in a future module.